A member of the Republican Party has admitted what we knew all along, that they actually have no plan to replace Obamacare if they, and this is a big if they were actually able to repeal it. Now, this is Cathy McMorris Rodgers. You may remember her from the State of the Union. I believe it was where she got to rebut the State of the Union. It was very hokey. It was very mom and apple pie and go, America, right? Pretty hokey. That's where you can kind of remember her by. Now, she said, and she was talking to radio host John, Catsimatidis from AM 970 New York's The Cats Roundtable. That is a hard name, guys. That is a very hard name. Where they were actually talking about the Affordable Health Care Act and Paul Ryan's, of course, continued insistence on bringing up a repeal vote. Now, she said, quote, "We failed to do that." Where, we have failed to bring forth an alternative. We have absolutely failed to do that. But see, that's where Speaker Ryan says that we have to put that specific policy proposal forward. And he's already tapped a member to lead that effort. Well, we have yet to see whether or not they actually try to come up with something. And so here's interesting. Here's what she said, right? And this is interesting. Quote, "We've got a right to specific replacement to the Affordable Care Act. We've talked about repealing Obamacare. We've taken votes. We put the bill on the president's desk to repeal Obamacare. But we've got to put forward, what is the future of health care?" Now, she says on that, McMorris Rodgers said that the Republican alternative needs to put patients and doctors back in charge of making health care decisions. We have some ideas. Oh, goody. They have ideas. We just need to rally around them and bring it back to patient-centered health care. By what? Giving the decision back to the individual and the doctor, and not this government knows best, top-down approach that I think we're all fearful of, that takes away our choices. Okay, so this is funny. Why is this funny, you ask? It's been, 6 years? 6 years. It's been repealed and replaced from the Republicans. We're going to repeal Obamacare. We're going to repeal it. We're going to get rid of it. And maybe, I guess, replace it with something. I mean, get off my ass, right? Get off my back. We'll figure out something. And as Trump says, it'll be fantastic. It'll be tremendous. Now, on this show, I've asked before, okay, so you guys want to get rid of Obamacare. You want to repeal it, but then you want to replace it. So where's your plan? I'm not opposed to hearing your plan. So let's see your plan. What's your plan? Plan? You guys want a plan? I didn't think you were serious about that. I mean, we just kind of wanted it to go back to the way that it was, where people didn't have health care. I mean, you actually want a plan? Shit. Look, if they actually put forward a plan, I wouldn't have any issue looking at it, seeing how bad it is or how good it is. It might actually have good parts, right? But see, they don't have a plan. Or actually, they did. And guess what? We're living under that plan. We have that plan. It's called Obamacare. It's amazing, right? So where is their plan? I don't know. And when you ask them, it's like, where's your plan? What's your plan? Oh, you don't know? What do you mean you don't know? What do you fucking mean you don't know? You're proposing to eliminate health insurance for millions of people and you don't have a replacement. How stupid are you guys? You're not very smart. And I love that. She's like, well, yeah, we've been doing all this stuff and we got nothing. You still have nothing. Okay. So she talks about patient-centered, right? And we hear this all the time from Republicans who want to replace the healthcare law, right? Patient-centered. It's back to the individual and doctor-style healthcare. But wait a minute. What does that mean? How do you get that? What's centered between you and your doctor? Well, they don't know because it's not a plan. It's a talking point. And that's the problem. This whole discussion is absolutely comical, or at least it would be if it didn't involve people's lives. And that's the problem. You see, if they roll back or eliminate the ACA, millions of people would lose their health insurance. Why? Because they wouldn't have premium support from the government. If you get rid of that, people wouldn't be able to afford it. Now, I think the system of health insurance as it is, even under Obamacare, is still not great. It's kind of abhorrent. The whole system that we have to pay into insurance in order to get sometimes health care. That's abhorrent. Healthcare is a human right. And even though I'm critical of Obamacare, I think it's a good start. Now, there's another way that repealing the ACA would be actually terrible. And this is, of course, when it comes to the deficit. Now, Republicans, they want to talk about the deficit, right? Well, you repeal the ACA, you're going to grow the deficit. In fact, according to the CBO, repealing the ACA would increase federal budget deficits by $137 billion over the 2016 to 2025 period. And it would, by the way, eliminate insurance for 19 million people. That's awful. Now, whether you like it or not, health insurance reform is here to stay. It's already linked into the system. It's kind of baked into the pie now, right? And now too many people do rely on it. The systems, everything's in place. Getting rid of it would be an absolute unmitigated disaster. Now, whether or not you like it, whether or not it goes too far, or whether or not you think it doesn't go far enough. And see, that's why Hillary Clinton kept using that lie, right? During the debates where she says that Bernie Sanders was going to destroy Obamacare and start over with a single-payer system. No, we know that's definitely not true. That is a bold-faced lie. It's not true at all. You can't just dismantle the system. It, for one, it'd be nearly impossible. For two, it would have all those unintended consequences that would be absolutely terrible for both the economy and for millions of people who need health care. And so, no, that's not where we would go. The best way to expand healthcare turned into a single-payer system is to expand on what's already been done. The Affordable Care Act is a foundation. And the best way to go forward at that foundation, to bring it towards more of a Medicare for all system, is to add in a public option. And then when people start to buy into it, and lots of people will, because it will turn out to be a better deal. It'll be cheaper because you're not paying for overheads. You're not paying for CEO compensation or advertising. You're actually paying for your own healthcare. And when more people, and tons of people, they buy into it, a majority, well, you can start to phase out reliance on health insurance corporations. Now, of course, they hate that. But that's the whole plan. That's why they fought so hard against a a public option. So, and on Senator Sanders, he's said nothing about repealing the ACA. So once again, bold-faced bullshit lie. Now, I want to end with this, right? Because I think this is important. I think what we need to do now, as Democrats or Republicans, right, who are not happy with the healthcare system the way it is that you've got to work to fix the system. You can't get rid of it. You can't just scrap it and start over. And once again, I point out how this would be absolutely terrible for people and the economy at large. It would be an absolute disaster. You can't get rid of the system now. But what you can do is you can actually work to fix it to make sure that it actually works better and covers more people. And that's what's important. Instead of going back to a talking point of, oh, we need patient-centered care. It doesn't work because that's not a plan. If we have a plan to move forward, let's do it. If we don't, then shut the fuck up.